The hidden treasure amid the chase. Let me start by saying something you already know in your gut. You spend your entire life chasing treasure, freedom, status, money, milestones. Hear me out on this one. God is not against treasure. He is the creator of abundance. He designed joy, peace, purpose, even wealth, and he wants his children to live full lives. I mean, think back. As a kid, your treasure was freedom, right? I'll have joy when I can drive. And then at 16, you got your license and you realized it came with traffic, responsibility, and gas money. And then you chased independence. I'll feel content once I move out at 21, but then you longed for just one evening to yourself. Then came marriage, the dream job, the house, the kids, and then what? Well, you find yourself whispering, if I only could go back and do everything. See the loop? It starts with when, and then it moves to once I, and then it ends with if I only could go back. It's just never landing in peace. Solomon wrote it thousands of years ago in Ecclesiastes 5:10. He said, whoever loves money will never have enough. Whoever loves wealth is never satisfied. And make no mistake, that's not just about money. It's about whatever treasure your heart is clinging to. And that's the world's blueprint flashing right in front of our eyes. But here's the twist. If the map that you've been following keeps leading to this emptiness, maybe the problem is not you. Maybe the problem is the map that you've been given or using. And if it's broken, then let me show you where the real treasure is hidden. All right, I think we would all agree. The more we have, the more we spend. You get a raise and suddenly that old car feels beneath you. And now you've got a car payment. You buy a house and within weeks, you're neck deep in having must-haves and upgrades. And there's furniture and fixtures and all these things you really didn't think you ever needed. And now you do. Or you splurge on a vacation, but then you go on Instagram and looking around, all of a sudden you just feel like yours is small. Or you land a promotion and now your lifestyle, well, it has to look the part. Guys, it's endless. Every win demands another purchase. Every step up the ladder comes with a higher bill waiting at the top. And this is not new. Ecclesiastes 5:11 said it straight. It said, the more you have, the more people come to help you spend it. So what good is wealth except to watch it slip through your fingers? Yeah, that's in the Bible. Don't you see it? The world doesn't hand you freedom when you get more. It hands you a heavier chain. Pardon the interruption, but I want to invite you to a free masterclass on October 23rd. Does this sound like you? Maybe life shifted and you feel a little stuck. The spark is gone. You check the boxes. Maybe you even have everything you thought you ever wanted, but you're still unfulfilled. And you're wondering, is this all there is? Wasn't I made for more? And the answer is yes. Imagine waking up with a fire in your soul, a purpose in your step, and dream in hand. All because you became the person that God designed you to be. The world needs that light right now, and that's why I created Elevate. It's a blueprint unlike anything you've ever seen before. I'm going to show you how to reignite your dream, discover your why. The fire that makes you unstoppable will shift from worldly to godly thinking. So we stop chasing and we start attracting. We'll find your niche, the gift placed inside of you that makes you unique. We'll set one big goal and we'll go from drifting to thriving with clear direction. This is my purpose, and that's why I'm so excited about it. I hope you'll join me for this masterclass, October 23rd. Let's go from stuck to unstoppable, from lack to overflow. Really hope you'll join me. 1 hour free masterclass. I'll see you there. Now back to our regularly scheduled programming. So let's talk about this treasure map. Did you ever notice how no great story, no epic adventure ever started with the treasure just kind of being handed over to you? Because if it was easy, everyone would stumble onto it. It wouldn't be treasure. And believe it or not, God's no different. He doesn't just drop gold in your lap. He gives you a map. He leaves you clues. And like any true treasure hunt, you have to seek, you have to dig, wrestle, and uncover. Jesus even taught this in parables, not to confuse us, but to sift us, to make sure the ones who really want the treasure lean in, dig deeper, and don't just chase the prize without being changed by the search. And that's why Ecclesiastes doesn't stop with money never satisfies. It keeps pointing you forward. In 5:20, it says, they seldom reflect on the days of their life because God keeps them occupied with gladness of heart. All right, that's great, Jen. Translate. Well, the treasure isn't at the end of the chase. The treasure is in the joy that you find in seeking. It's learning to enjoy the moment that you're standing in right now. Because when you live like that, the world's never enough finally loses its grip. Here's the part nobody talks about. God doesn't just make treasure hard to find because he's cruel or distant. He hides it on purpose. Why? Well, because if truth was laying out in the open, the experts, the self-help people, they would scoop it up, package it, and sell it back to you for $29.99 a month. Yeah, that's exactly what the world has done with self-help, positive thinking, manifestation, finding your truth. They stole the blueprint, stripped God's name off of it, and rebranded it as their own. But Jesus tells us in Matthew, I don't remember which number, but I know it's in Matthew. He says, I praise you, Father, because you have hidden these things from the wise. Do you feel that? The treasure isn't reserved for the smartest, the richest, or the most accomplished. It's not locked up in Ivy League lecture halls, psychology journals, or billion-dollar seminars. It's revealed to the humble, to the seekers, the ones willing to lean in and trust the map. That's the scandal of the kingdom. God hides the greatest treasure where the proud won't look. Which means if you've ever felt unqualified or not worthy, you're actually right where you need to be because the treasure was meant to be found by you. And you know what? Here's the irony. The world keeps chasing more money, more status, more knowledge, more hacks. But the more they stack, the emptier they feel. And the very people that we're taught to look up to, the experts, the professors, the billionaires, the influencers, are often the most restless of all because they've built their lives on the wrong blueprint. Meanwhile, God pulls off the greatest reversal of all time. He says the treasure isn't with the ones who think they know it all. It's with the ones who are humble enough to seek. Isaiah 29:14 lays it bare. It says the wisdom of the wise will perish. The intelligence of the intelligent will vanish. That is a mic drop. The world's wisdom, it's temporary, it's fragile, it burns out, and it fades. But God's truth, it outlasts every trend, every theory, every book deal, every TED Talk. And here's the secret most people just never realize. The treasure isn't money. It's not success or status. The treasure is joy. It's peace, fulfillment, purpose in every circumstance. What's ironic is when you have those things, you naturally attract abundance and wealth. It's kind of the cherry on top. But the real fulfillment is waking up with gladness in your heart when nothing in your life has changed. But you've changed. It's being anchored when the storm hits, steady when the world shakes, or alive when others are numb. When you walk in that light, when you have joy and peace and purpose and a burning inside of you, well, I just said it, but I'll say it again. Abundance rains down, and it's not because you chased it, but because the light of God attracts it. That's the treasure the world can't counterfeit. So if you keep following the world's view, don't be surprised when it keeps leading you back to the same empty spot. But if you dare to trade it for this original blueprint, the treasure you've been chasing won't just be what you find, it'll be what you become. So you know what has to happen. A shift needs to take place. We need to get off the old blueprint. We need to understand this new treasure map. That's why I created a course called Elevate. You're certainly welcome to come here every week. I do a podcast twice a week. I have on my website, I have a B101, a Bible 101 course, and a community. I have so many offerings, but I do have a course called Elevate where we specifically take your dream down from the cloud it lives in until you hold it in your hand. We unleash God-sized dreams. We find your niche, that thing that God put in you to serve others. We set some goals around it and we launch your life. There's no need for the world to be stuck, not when we're holding the treasure map. All right, that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I am truly grateful you are here. I'll see you next time on Elevate.